Alright guys, I have discovered and thought of a crazy theory that blows the entire storyline out of the water. So, we know that Glitch Trap represents M2, which is the evil mimic. And then we know that, which is M1, sorry, M1, the evil mimic, M1, which is the mimic system in the actual Android. And then we have M1, which is basically Fiona, mimic, and she is represented strangely by the Night Marionette, which is weird. But then we have the puppet, which is also weirder, cause Charlie, I always wondered, based on her death, it just feels weird, cause let's see, we have the puppet that can think for themselves out of all the other characters, and yet she's a child. What's so different about her, huh? Like, and then like to have a wristband or something. I don't know. It feels suspicious, almost like it's a game developer trying to miscue the facts. But you know what? I think Fiona is the puppet. I mean, look at it. We have a woman that is intelligent, and what's her job again? What's her job before Edwin Murray finds her? Why, being a puppeteerist. That's strange. That's strange. And we have William Afton basically killed Charlie, or quote unquote Charlie, back in an alleyway, and just kill her. Weird, strange. But then I have another thought. How could the puppet think of putting the children in the costumes, guys? I mean, how did she think of that? Like, I don't know. That seems weird that you'd automatically be like, oh, if it worked for me, it should work for everyone. I mean, this puppet saved me because I possessed it now, even though she barely was stuffed in it. I mean, it's a puppet. Like, you think a body could stuff in it, and so it's just a bit peculiar. And so it makes me think, because then it makes me wonder, like, where's Fiona? Where is Fiona in all of this? Like, she's dead, but wouldn't she want to possess something? It just feels suspicious. And then it seems like Edwin made mixes, basically Fiona as a F10 and 04 whatever. Weird how he made it as if it was like some nickname, just like it's not a real name. Who knows? There's some possibilities on why there's a name change, but who knows? Charlie could be strange. But I feel that's too wild and just varies off the path of the story. Maybe it could be she changed her legal name, possibility. But I think a better reason, and the one that makes more sense, is that Edwin gave Charlie a nickname, Fiona, as he seems to like making stuff, so why not make a nickname for his wife? I mean, it only makes sense. And so the only complication of this theory is just the timeline. The timeline doesn't make sense. But then, what if that's the point? Because what if what we see in FNAF 6, Charlie dying, what if that was just a retelling of events, And it's weird how Fiona dies in Fall Fest. It's that seems strange. Like, out of all the deaths, the first one is Fiona, and yet she doesn't possess anyone, and then just dies in a fire, where like William Afton is not the one that does it. Like, that seems awfully suspicious, huh? That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. And it just gets my gears thinking and thinking. But, that's the only thing that gets this theory, downvoted is just the timeline. If we, canonly. But it's weird how Scott made the Nightmare Net, non-canon for the FNAF 4 DLC, and then made them canon in Ultimate Custom Night. And that's where William Afton is in hell. Because, the phone guy says she's always thinking. So that means the phone guy has history with her. And, I don't know, they've given the phone guy, I think his name's Arnold, a character. But I think that's just an alias for William Afton. Because we've seen in the books that William Afton goes by aliases, like Dave. So it could make sense. And I think it would make sense why, out of all the characters, the puppet is the only one that can think, that can protect the kids and whatnot. Because I think it is Fiona. Or, better yet, maybe it could be the daughter of Fiona. How Edwin and Fiona secretly had a daughter, and that's and I don't know. Maybe it could be secretly Elizabeth, because William Afton took their child as his own. That's why I think we get the clips of the baby isn't mine from the TV, because the baby isn't his and whatnot, and marital disputes and whatnot. I don't know. I'm just making stuff, okay? That's the fun about theory crafting. You can make your own, as long as it almost makes sense. But hey, do you believe that Fiona is secretly the puppet and Charlie was a lie? Because where we get Charlie is from the books, but we never hear the word Charlie. Yeah, we never hear the word Charlie. Sorry, I was rethinking, did we hear it from Henry's speech? And I'm like, no. So, if we don't hear it from the books, and it's weird, we got Cassidy's name and then Dave or David or whatnot from not the books, from the lore, but literally from the survival log, which is its own separate book on trying to help us piece together the FNAF games, and that's kind of canon. But the series books, their canon lore is not canon, and it really has Charlie. It's their own canon universe. That's Charlie's name. We don't know what the puppet's possessed victim name is, and that's where Fiona comes in. But write down in the comments below if you think this is a great theory, or if it's just out of whack and I'm making stuff up. I could be making stuff up, but you never know. But that's not where our story ends. No! Why, for that, we have to go back to the beginning, where it all started. Back to the missing children incidents. Back to all of it. Back to where William Afton started. By clicking this video where I made FNAF, where I use all the first 4 games here. Or you can check out my playlist of doing FNAF content. You decide.